Okay, we just got, all right, buddy, just taught all things archery and shooting. Got back from the range with this bow, shooting this bow. This is the 1969 Archery Grizzly. This one's a 56-inch AMO, 53-pound bow. So, how did it go? How did it shoot? Well, here are my thoughts on it. Well, I like the look of the bow. It shoots really well. I don't think you have an issue with any. There's a little bit of hand shock to it, nothing too major. I mean, otherwise, it's shot like a bear bow, like every bow ever shot. We're going to go ahead and rate this bow on my 6 points of interest. I rate all my bows on and compare it, and we'll talk about each one as we go through, okay? First thing I want to talk about is number 1 is the quality, fit, and finish of the bow. I mean, it is a bear bow, so it's going to be a beautiful, especially back in the 60s, all these bows are made by hand, basically. And it is a beautiful wood in this bow. I love the wood of the bow. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's really nice. All except for the sprawling on the fiberglass, which is really not going to affect the bow any. It doesn't affect the way it shoots. The bow is a really pretty bow, and I mean, there's no like sanding marks, no overrun of the fiberglass matting finish. It's got a nice matte finish to it. I mean, it's a pretty bow. It really is. I mean, I love these older style 1960s, early 70s vintage bear bows. They really are pretty. It's got beautiful tips on it, reinforced tips on them. He was reinforcing tips before they were even reinforced tips for fast fly. That's how smart Fred Bear was, how far ahead of his time he was. This bow will handle a fast flight string. Only reason I'm not shooting a fast flight string on it is because it does have a little bit of sprawling right there, okay? And also on this side here as well, a little bit of sprawling right there, okay? Nothing too major on the bow, but otherwise, it's got a beautiful bear coin on the back side, this is the flush fitting coin they used for a long time. I love this coin better than the raised one. I mean, the grip feels really good. I mean, it fits your hand really well. I mean, everything about this bow is just really, really nice. I mean, it is a 56-inch bow, so it's a nice short bow, great for the tree stand or great for a ground blind. So, for quality, fit, and finish, even though it's got a little bit of sprawling, the bow is over 50 years old, I'm going to have to give it probably an 8, okay? Just because of the sprawl, it didn't really hold up as well as some of the other bows. Like the Bear Kodiak Hunter I did, it was a 1973 bow, I believe it was. That bow, it got a 9 on its quality. It was like mint condition. All right, let's talk about the specs of the bow. Well, the specs of the bow, I found an old Bear catalog from 1969, looked it up. Bows in that catalog, which is kind of cool to see a bow you bought, and actually the same colors in there. And the serial number in the catalog I saw, like this one ends in 744. The serial number of the catalog one I saw ended in 658, so it's less than 100 bows away from this one, so which is kind of cool. But the bow is rated at 53 pounds, and that's what's listed on the back of it. When I pulled the draw on it, it came in at 53 pounds, like we said. And at my draw length, 29.5 inches, it's almost 58 pounds almost, okay? Just under 58 pounds. So, I mean, the bow it meets the specs. It is a 56-inch AMO, like it says it's supposed to be. I mean, the bow is just, I mean, everything about the bow is fine, so, I mean, I don't have any issue with that. So we're gonna give the specs on the bow, I'll give it an 8 as well too, okay? Next will be the shootability. Shootability of the bow, I mean, this bow, it has some hand shock to it, a little bit of vibration to it. It takes some, I mean, this bow it fits my hand really well. I love the grip on the bow. It shoots really, I mean, it fits well, shoots really well. And I was able to get on, not quite as shootability as, say, the Bear Kodiak Hunter. Of that, I was able to get on target pretty quickly with it and get real accurate. This bow actually had to shoot a little bit to get going with it. So, but after shooting maybe 100 or so arrows, I finally started into my rhythm with this bow. And it started shooting really well for me, and you saw in the video I shot pretty nice tight groups on it. So let's give it a 7 for quality, fit, and finish, okay? 7 for shootability of the bow, okay? Remember, the shootability is how quick I can pick the bow up and put arrows downrange, get on target. This bow took a little bit longer for me to get used to shooting. When I first started shooting with it, I was getting groups like that, about 5-6 inches, and I had to really concentrate on my form and my anchor and everything with this bow, because it's not very forgiving. So that's why I gave it a 7 on shootability, all right? Speed of the bow. Okay, well, the speed of the bow, I mean, for a 50-plus-year-old bow, 1969 with 52, 53-year-old bow, even with a little bit of sprawling that it has in the fiberglass, I mean, the bow shot fairly quick. I mean, it wasn't very consistent, and I think that has a lot to do with maybe the sprawling in the glass. only thing I can think of, because my velocity went from a low of 159 to a high of 174. That's a 15 feet per second swing using the exact same arrow. Remember, I shot the same exact arrow all 6 times. Even in coming into consideration if I didn't hit my anchor point right, or maybe didn't pull back as far, still 15. I've never seen a 15 foot a second swing on a bow before like I did on this one. So this bow averages 167 feet per second, which is a respectable speed for an older bow. But I have to say that it's not very consistent, okay? I mean, and actually after the video's over, I shot 6 more just to confirm my numbers. I got basically the same thing. I got a 14 foot a second swing instead of a 15. So basically the same thing over 6 arrows. So the bow is not very consistent. Only thing I can think of is because of the sprawling on the limbs here. Maybe that has something to do with it. It really doesn't affect the structure of the bow. It's going to shoot, but the sprawling on these limbs, it just, I don't know, that's one thing I can think of. Because the bow, I've never had a bow shoot a 15 feet a second swing on arrow speed. So for arrow speed, just because of that, not very consistent, and because of the swing gun, I'm going to have to give it I'd give it a 6 on speed, okay? Quietness of the bow. Okay, well the bow bone stock's not very quiet, okay? It's a little bit quieter than say the Kodiak Hunter, but not very quiet compared to most, like the newer bows out there. Even the newer Black Hunter, which is a 3-piece bow, is much quieter than this bow is from the factory. So, but that can be remedied pretty easily. All you need is some string silencers and maybe some limb tip silencers on here. I've got another bow which belonged to my dad. It's a 1967 58-inch Archery Grizzly. It's a 48-pound bow, and it's a lot quieter. I mean, it's really much quieter. Okay, so if y'all want to see a review on that old bow, I mean, it belonged to my dad, and I forgot. I didn't really forget I had it, but I didn't think about it for a lot of years. It's been in the back of my closet for God knows how long. I've been buying all the other bows recently, and last week I was redoing my office, and so I went ahead and dug it out. I cleaned the closet out, and I found my dad's bow in the back of the closet. So I took it out. It'd been sitting there for God knows how long. I probably haven't shot that bow in several years. And I said, I didn't really forget I had it. It just didn't dawn on me that it was still back there. Because I had all the other bows that I've been shooting recently. But anyway, I took it out. I got it set up, lined up, and it shoots really good. I really like that bow. And it belonged to my dad. It's an older 1967 vintage. That one's a 58-inch compared to a 56-inch, so it's a little bit longer bow than this one. It does shoot a lot smoother than this one does, and there's really zero sprawling on the bow at all. It's in really super clean shape. So if y'all want to see a review on that bow, I mean, give me a holler, and I'll comment that, hey Todd, let's see that video. I'll go do a quick review on that bow. I'm gonna go and we'll see how that compares. Maybe I'll do a comparison of the 67 Archery Grizzly compared to the 69 Archery Grizzly, and that could be an interesting video. Let's do that. I think I'll do a comparison video. If you guys want to see that comparison video, drop me a comment down there. Let me know what you think about that. But I think a comparison video between the 67 and the 69 might be an interesting video. We'll shoot them head to head, see what they come out to. All right, back to our review, okay? So the quietest bow is not very quiet, okay? It's a little bit loud. It's got a little bit of twang to it, a little bit of string vibration to it. So again, I'm pretty sure we should put some string silencers and some bow tip felt on it. I did limb silencers. It'll probably quiet it down. But right out of the box, it's not very quiet. So because of the quietness, we're going to give it a 7 for quietness. Okay? I mean, no. Yeah, we'll give it a 7 for quiet. It's a little bit quieter than say the Kodiak Hunter that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. But I got to tell you that once I put the new silencers on that Kodiak Hunter that I did a review on, that's on my channel here, and I put some limb tip silencers, the felt on there, and I put some string silencer, bear puffs on there, not bear puffs, I'm sorry, rabbit fur silencers on it, and the limb tip silencer, that bow quieted right down, really super quiet. This will probably do the same thing. So we'll give this bow a 7 because it's a little bit more quiet than the Kodiak Hunter, but not by much. All right, value of the bow. Let's look at the value of it. This bow in 1969, according to Bear Catalog, I found an old invoice for it. This sold for $89.99. Okay. Nowadays, I think I paid $104 for this bow from eBay, and if you put $89 into 2021 money, it's about $640 roughly. And at $104 compared to 89. I mean, to use the $104 money today compared to the 69 money value, comes out to, I mean, it's quite a bit difference actually, but I mean, but for $104, it's, I mean, I think it's a good value. I think the Bowie brand new for $89 is a good value, okay? So, if you take $104 from 1969, say I paid that for it, and add today's money, it comes out just over $700. So the bow did hold its value really well for such an older bow. So I'm sure if it wasn't for the sprawling on it, probably would have cost more. I've seen these bows sell for upwards of $200, $250 on eBay. So, but this did have a little bit of sprawling, so I did get a good deal on it. So yeah, so value of the bow. Let's go get the value of the bow. I mean, it's an old bear bow. Let's give it a 9, okay, for value. All right. All right. Overall, my final thoughts on this bow. I mean, Bear classified this bow as a working man's bow. I mean, this was designed for the everyday worker, the Joe worker that didn't cost 5 paychecks to pay for. I mean, it was a good bow for the money. Bear prided himself on building this bow. It'd been in the Bear lineup since I think 1953, and I think they still make this bow today. So a little bit different, but they still make it today. And the bow's been around a long time. Again, it is a working man's bow, so I mean, that bow shot for me. It shot really well. It was accurate. I have no problem. Actually, only issue I really have with the bow is the spread on the velocity. It just had too much of a swing, which is the first time I've come across a bow with that much of a swing. 15 feet a second over 6 arrows seems like a lot. But again, that could be because it's an much older bow. I do have some sprawling on the fiberglass on the back of the bow here. So, but other than that, the bow is good. It fits your hand real well. It shoots really well. I like the bow a lot, so I'm going to keep it, and I'll shoot it every now and then. So it's a good bow. All right, and if you come across a Bear Grizzly for $100, $150, I think you should pick one up. It's a good buy. You can't really go wrong with them. Bear made a hell of a product back in the day, so it's a really good bow. So let's see what our total is now comparable. Remember, these are 6 items with a top score of 10 for each one for a total possible score of 60. This bow score came in at 16, 23, 29, 36. Came in at 45 out of 60, which puts it near the middle of the pack, all bows I've tested. So, I mean, for a 50-year-old bow, I think that's pretty decent, okay? Alright, so that is all I got for you today on this. If you like this video, please leave that like button, and also if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you click that bell button next to that subscription button, you'll find that you'll be notified of upcoming videos. Please share this video with your buddies and your workers and your hunting buddies, and I really appreciate all y'all watching. My channel has grown over 3,000 now, so it's getting bigger and bigger every month. It's kind of amazing guys are tuning in to listen to me talk and shoot a bow, which is kind of wild. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for your support and everything. So it's been a pleasure seeing with you guys and working this way. I love doing these reviews for you. And if there's something you want me to review, just drop me a comment. I'll try to find and review it for you. But I especially like doing old vintage bow reviews. What's coming up in the near future, I'll give you a heads up. So you look for it. I've got a review on AAE trad vanes. Now these are plastic vanes that are supposed to shoot off a shelf the same as feathers, with no difference. So we're going to do a comparison of feathers and trad vanes head to head. I've got a video on that coming up. So that should be interesting because, I mean, feathers, the biggest thing about feathers, they fly really nice, but they get wet. And when they get wet, especially out hunting in like Florida in a wet area, I had a storm last weekend and my arrows got soaked. So, I mean, it kind of defeated the purpose. I knew if I shot anything, with quick thinking if it came out, that it would be all over the place because feathers hold a lot of water. And no matter what you do to it, they're going to hold water, whether you spray them with, I've tried everything, hairspray, I've tried stay dry, I've tried all different things, and nothing really works on feathers and water because they're designed to, that's what white birds have them and ducks have them. They're designed to hold water and keep the water in, keep from getting to the animal. These trad vanes, though, are supposed to be completely weather resistant. Water's not supposed to affect. They're supposed to fly exactly like feathers. So we're going to check that. We're going to test that. I've also got a Browning Compound ATB coming up. It's a Browning Compound bow. It's a 1989 vintage. Back in the day, it was touted as one of the fastest production bows that was built at the time. It was made by Browning. It's a short little bow, so we're going to do a full setup on that, a full review on that too, coming up soon. So look for that as well. All right, so that's been it for me today, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, everybody, ciao.